It felt as if the air became fluid as I drew the pentagrams. And in closing, it felt as if the room vibrated. After using Suar 85 to 96, I saw a yellow tetrahedron, and things otherwise were clear. But I felt the analgesic shudders come down me. And further, I said Suar 97 to 108. And it became as a flat, again yellow, grid before me. And I felt some more. And arose upon the platform in a shape kind of like an almost comical winter coat. Was a green, sort of glowing, long coat shape. Frederick Adams' Periferia, the Rosh Hashanah tablets, the Golden Bough, Freemasonry, From Ritual to Romance, and some lesser influences provoked the reconstructions of Baal and Astarte rituals. And these rituals are the solstices and the equinoxes. They are bouncing things off of the Solomonic legend. They're not claiming to be an official spin-off or quasi-Masonic group in that way. They are an organization about the magic to hypnotize oneself into interacting with parts of oneself in a way to honor something beyond oneself. In the i-xiii page, we have 4 pictures of seasonal ceremony stuff. And there's going to be more to mention further. But it seems very Middle Ages royalty in its presentation. For photography and filming purposes, they have people wear masks as part of their outfits. And you don't have to totally agree, but They don't want mere spectators. They want people who are going to take part in some degree. So in the drama, we have the planetary representations. We have the male and the female representations of divinity. And we have what appears to be a human interactor of things. I mean, that without any further comment, that's what I would say about those 4 pictures. And so the 7 pages that I'm talking about from the introduction, of course, Robert S. Elwood. And you notice right away that the Astarte sigil is something along the lines of Venus. Even if you don't know that attribute from further things, you're going to notice that star of Venus. And regardless of when you say the pyramids were, longer than that, people knew some of the interesting things about Venus, forming the petals of a rose every 40 years and tracing a pentagram in the sky every 8, and the morning and evening star, and a lot of these mythological forms about Venus and the moon in particular. Other planets were generally considered less important. The sun and the moon were called planets in that language because, they moved about the sky from our perspective. We know they're not planets by our perception nowadays. I mean, the way we use the word. Just like I mentioned, evoking oneself to invoke or to bring about the experience or involve other beings that may be attracted or repelled by one's operations. The real work that's going to satisfy you is the inner work, the self work, and bringing that magical connection to it. Things are not entirely subjective, but a person can connect every big and little thing to the art and science of magic. And, I say art, magic is the art and science of religion, causing willful changes. Aleister Crowley said what the thing that's attributed to Dion Fortune here. Of course, Dion Fortune would have heard of Aleister Crowley. Changes of consciousness in accordance with will, something like that. Oh, I forget the exact quote, but you know what I mean. And magic, of course, comes from the idea of being skillful, the magus, because people looked at the magi, or magians, and said, oh, everybody, whether they're talking about the 1700 to 2000 BCE period or something later, it just seemed weird to some people that you don't have a separate class of priest per se, that everybody can do all the rituals. Yeah, that's sort of the thing that occurs. Everyone is supposed to bring themselves to the point where they are a priest, a teacher, a acolyte,